Hi, this is Jedimonster3000, and today I want to review for you the Odin 2 portal. A little bit about me. I am a gamer, a reader, a nerd girl who loves all things cute, and I was in the market for something that could work for me as a Steam Deck because one, the Steam Deck prices went up. By the time I was able to get my hands on one, it was extremely expensive. And by the time I got it, I also realized, the Steam Deck is really heavy. I don't know if you guys have ever held one before, but I have watched a lot of reviews on them, and not a lot of reviews talk about how heavy it is. They actually talk about how light, surprisingly light it is. I think a lot of those PC handhelds, for me personally, with some of my health issues, they are too straining for me to hold for long periods of time. Now, I do want to say this is not a light device by any means. It is still a little bit heavy, but it's not super heavy, and especially without this grip, it's pretty light. And I did use it for the first couple days without the grip, but I did find, like a lot of reviewers say, that you do need the grip, so make sure you buy it when you get this. Right now on the website, this is the max model, so that means it has 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of internal storage, and that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip that everybody is so excited about. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is essentially a chipset that allows you, with certain software, to run Steam games on your device. You can also, of course, emulate older systems. And the great thing about this chip is it can also emulate PS3 era games, which I think previously was not really a thing. And surprisingly, a lot of the games that you might be interested in playing, like the Fallout series, the Arkham Knight trilogy, things like that, those are actually PS3 era games that they moved into the current era with ports, etc. But a lot of those remasters and everything, they actually came out for that era. So this is really exciting. It means you can actually play some PC games, sitting on the couch, or, in bed if you're somebody with a PC who has Steam games. Another great use case for this, because right now on the website they have the 8 gig model. So it has 8 gigabytes of RAM and I think 128 terabytes of storage, which is fine because there is an SD card slot in here. So you can add more memory to this and you'll be able to play, load up more games and everything. It's also nice that it has the SD card slot so that if you emulate anything on your PC, you can also just move things over. I don't see a lot of women review this device, so I really wanted to do that, and I haven't uploaded on this channel in years, but I think my biggest video was a Switch Lite unboxing, so I'm hoping that some of you guys are around and you are curious about this. And also, even just looking at this, it does remind me a little bit of the Switch Lite. It is definitely I think bigger, or it's about the same size, but the screen is the same. At the end here, I might do some comparisons size-wise. So I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see it. I have customized mine with a Chromie background. I've got a lot of stuff on here, but the main thing that I wanted to show you guys is game native. So this is what I use to run my Steam games. And it's going to pop up. And what's really nice about game native is, like, as you can see, it tells me whether or not this game can run on this device. It'll talk about compatibility. I will tell you that not everything does run, but I think pretty much everything I've thrown at this thing works, except for Dreamlight Valley and Final Fantasy Rebirth, because that's a newer game. I would say across the board, if the game came out in 2023 or before, I have found that it works, at least on my device, with the 16 gigabytes of RAM. But a lot of games, if you go and look in your Steam library, you can look at requirements. It won't show up here because this is through Game Native. But if you go through on Steam and you scroll down, I don't know if you've ever done this, you'll find the hardware requirements. And I find that anything that is between, like, less than 8 gigs, you should be able to run. You should also be able to run that, I would think, on the base model, because it's really the chipset that allows these games to run. it's more about like how fast or slow it's going to go. I do think everything looks really good on this device. And I do want to show you guys a little bit. Let me see if I can boot into this. So it's going to do a little cloud sync. This is actually syncing and cloud saving from your Steam account. So what I do is I play this on the couch sometimes, and then I'll switch over to my computer when I actually feel like sitting at it and playing, you know, at a higher FPS. This isn't going to hit like crazy FPS, but I feel like people get really upset about 20, 30 frames per second on a handheld. And honestly, like I think for most people and probably for a lot of girly gamers, I really do think that's good enough, unless you guys are really into like AAA games, in which case, no. I'm also not really a cozy gamer, so I'm like somewhere in between. And this is taking forever to load right now. You also can hear the fan going right now. So like that's another thing I love about this. It's got a fan. It's currently on sport, but if you click on this, you can change it. I generally, if I'm going to run a PC game, I'm going to put this on sport because I want it to like work. While this is booting up, I mean, it's going to give you some idea of load times on here. I do want to talk about what I love about this device. Number one, I really wanted the white one, but it was not available. And I was really apprehensive looking at the website about this specific color. And it's honestly so gorgeous, like in person. And I really love it. And the whole top of this is glass. So it's very nice. I think right now they only have the black model left. But like I would buy this in black as well. It's just beautiful the way they've done it. Some cons though is I really don't like, I've got some Joy-Con covers on here, but I'll take one off. These are very tiny. Like I honestly think they might be smaller than the Switch Lite ones, or at least they don't feel as good because they're a little bit like loosey-goosey. Like they don't have as much resistance to them as I would like. I'd like them to be like a little bit more resistant maybe, or definitely like a bigger face. I would say adding some button covers. I think these are for the Switch. Definitely helps when you're trying to play a game to actually have the button cover. I also really don't like these buttons. They're kind of like clicky and weird. And they're too tall in a weird way. Like there's something about these I don't like. And also the placement of the D-pad feels slightly off if you're going to play anything retro, but because I mainly don't use this that much, it's not too much of an issue. What else do I like? I love that it runs things. I love this thing. I did make a list though, so let me think. I love the screen. This is an OLED screen, so everything's going to look really clean on here and good. I don't know what's going on with this game, so I'm actually going to exit out of this if I can, because I'm not sure why that's doing that. Sometimes my internet just isn't that good, and so the cloud save thing might take a minute, but I played almost all of this game directly on here. I think just the last couple hours I played on my PC because I just really wanted to have that full screen experience. But I played this whole game, Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade, on this device. Unfortunately, Rebirth is too big boy of a game to run on here, so I won't be able to enjoy that one handheld. But the fact that I got through something on my Steam library on this is just amazing. There's so many games I want to play, like some of those remasters. Like I really want to play the Arkham series, which I have played before. I've never played, what is that game series? The horror game series? My brain keeps saying Red Dead Redemption, but that is not what I'm trying to, that's not what I'm trying to think of. You know, it's like the zombie thing. I know you guys are thinking of it. It's actually on sale right now on Steam, the whole series, but I really want to play those games, and those would probably all run on here really well. Cannot think of the name. The BioShock series would probably run on this. Of course, side-scrollers like Terraria and Hollow Knight are going to run on these. That would also run on the lower model for sure. Okay, so this one's booting in. I love that you can see my camera. You can turn this off, by the way, but I just leave it on because it gives me the battery percentage while I'm playing, and I just kind of prefer to have that there. The battery life on this is also really good. You can play for a solid, like 3 hours. Volume on this is up top here. And It's actually pretty loud. I don't know why it doesn't seem that loud right now. I think I have the game set to not be so loud. I finished this, so I'm gonna have to see if we can just like load into a specific spot that I already completed, just so you can see what it looks like maybe. This is the DLC. See, it's just like a Steam Deck, and I wish you guys could see in person like how good this is. And everything looks really great. I'm sorry, I don't have my Joy-Cons on right now, so, or my button covers, so it doesn't. Okay, so you get the idea. And then this button here will pull up this side menu where you can limit the FPS on the device. I have it limited to 30. It usually runs about 20-25, but as you can see, it looked really good and I don't have an issue with it or anything. And then you can also force exit from here. I wouldn't do that unless you had a save. I already had a save, so it's fine. I do find games that are online, like the Dreamlight Valley one, for me personally, they don't work. I don't know if it's my internet or what, but it has trouble like connecting to the internet, so it doesn't seem to work. But I don't have an issue with cloud sync or anything. There have been times where I've had to like boot it up in here first to make sure the cloud save uploaded, and then boot into my PC, and it's like back where I wanted it to be. The other thing I want to show you guys on here is emulation. So I have this PS3 emulator that looks pretty good. You just move this out of the way. And I could do a video on this if you guys want, like how to set up, but there are so many videos like this. The fact that there's PS3 emulation on here is such a big deal because, like I said, there are just so many games from that era that I'm interested in playing. I would also say another pro for this device is that the price point is just so good. I think it's on sale right now for $330. I picked up the Max model for about $425. Sorry, that is loud. But like, look how good that looks. I don't remember the controls, so I'm gonna try to do this. And I don't know how good it looks on screen for you guys, but like, look at that. This is so playable and nice, and you can get through like all of these PS3 era games, which a lot of them were ported to Switch. So if you were between this and getting a Switch, and you have a Steam library, I don't even know if you guys can hear me over this, and you have a Steam library, I think it's worth it to get this maybe over a Switch because of how well it runs. So you get the idea. I really can't see because I'm doing this behind a camera, but that's essentially how it works. And it looks great. And I'm just gonna, it's like an Android device, so you just use it essentially like a phone. You can put anything on here like a phone. I also have RetroArch and Emulation Station on here. Again, I could do a setup video, but there are just so many. It plays 3DS games, but they're like side by side, and I have a 3DS actually. I would love to do a video on that for you guys as well. Let me see what I have in PS2. I've got Spider-Man. Cool. It does do Spider-Man games really well as well. Literally, I don't think I understand how this menu works, which is crazy. I haven't used this in a while, but it does run basically every emulator. It's fantastic for that as well. But yeah, if you're interested in something like a Steam replacement, I think this is wonderful. Like I said, my main issue are the triggers. You can get, like, if you have a 3D printer, you can 3D print bigger ones for this. People sell them online. For me personally, I just don't think it's worth the money, and I don't like the way a lot of the 3D printed sticks look. I just prefer to kind of have my button caps on there. These are clicky. I mean, like, some people like that. I just don't really, to be honest. It's fine though. Like, it's doable. D-pad. You can connect a controller to this. You can port this to your TV. I kind of want to show you guys what it looks like without the case on, so I will take that off now. This is just a silicone case. It is the one that comes with the device, or like, it doesn't come with it. You have to order it. It's only $10 though. I thought it was going to be really cheap feeling, but it actually feels really good. It's nice and flexible, and it is really comfortable. It's pretty comfortable without as well. It reminds me more of like I said, the Switch Lite. Got the USB-C down there. We got the volume here. This is the power button. These are the triggers. Everything is really nice. There's some extra buttons down here. This is the fan. I think that's the fan, or is that the speaker? And then there's the SD card slot here. This is just like, I have been playing this nonstop since I got it, and I have a tendency to not use things I buy, I'll be completely honest, but this was such a bang for its buck. And because it runs Android, you can run Android games or anything you'd like on here. You can run, like I said, Steam with Game Native. Anything before 2023 would be fantastic on this. Any game released before the year 2023 would run great on this. If you're looking to play like AAA titles that have been recently released, you wouldn't be able to play those. But I do want to note that a lot of those titles also do not run, as far as I understand, on a Steam Deck without like severe tinkering. A con would be you can't boot into Windows on this in any sort of way. So if you really are in the market for something that's more PC-like, you might want to go with some of the alternative options like the Xbox Rogue Ally or the Xbox Rogue Ally X. I did have an Ally that I returned because, again, a lot of those handheld PCs are just a beast to hold, and this isn't much heavier than a phone. Like, it's not too bad for me. And I can sit there and game on this for, you know, a few hours every night. I'll eat my dinner, it's sitting next to me, and then I'm just gaming. Like, I just boot straight into a game. And I feel like if you're a working adult, it's just great to kind of have that flexibility and be like, wow, I can just like actually make time for my games and really be intentional with it. I find it a lot easier to do with something like this. So I've talked about a lot of pros. I would say that it does have some cons. Like I said, it's got the joystick issue, the button issue. Another con for me personally is that it needs a grip at all. Although it is nice that they offer one for you and it's only $10. I was a little annoyed because I couldn't get the matching grip, but actually I'm a big fan of Kuromi, as you saw, and I do kind of like that the grip is black. It's at least a nice pairing, and it looks pretty, so I'm not too mad about that, but I do feel like they should keep stock of the grips that matches the device that's available. Like, it just makes sense to do that, but I think they maybe printed more black ones, so that's why black was available. Another con is that this exact model is sold out. If I could tell you guys to spend your money, I would say you should go for the Max model every damn time. There was also a Pro model that was 12 gigabytes of RAM that also probably would have been good. Right now, I think you can only get the base, which is 8 gigabytes of RAM. I didn't say this, but if you are an indie game player, like you play indie PC games, getting the base model is going to be fantastic for you. I think most of those games will run on here, even if you only have 8 gigabytes of RAM. And a lot of girly gamers are that, and they want something that they can play their PC games on and then have their cloud save. You know, I'm really interested in playing Fields of Mystria. That's only available on PC right now. That would be great to play on this. The other last con, which I did mention, is that online games don't really seem to work, and that is very annoying. So I don't love that. And that's my final con. That's my my final thoughts on this. I absolutely love this. AYN, if you're watching this video, reach out to me. I would love to review more of your products. I'm really impressed with this device. And for you guys, give me a like, leave me a comment if you want to see more specifically about this device. I can do a comparison video between this and the Switches that I have. I have a Switch Lite and a Switch 2. I would love to do comparison videos. Show you the differences in size and weight, what you can do with each one. Of course, Switches are locked into specific Switch games, but they have started to port a lot of PC games, and I'm willing to purchase one just to kind of show you guys the differences. So yeah, leave me a like, let me know how you liked this video. And I hope to do more tech videos in the future. Like I said, have a lot of tech. I'm really into, specifically at this time, handheld games and e-readers. I also have a bunch of e-readers. So if you guys want to see a review on some of those things, I will gladly upload that as well. Have a great day. Bye.